Today on an all-new Dr. Phil. She says her boyfriend's controlling.
He's called me fat before I was pregnant. His weight limit was 130 pounds.
Dominating.
You broke that chair in anger. It's a family heirloom.
I can't look at it and care. It's like a trophy.
And narcissistic.
Would you like to be in a relationship with you?
Yes, people are intimidated by the way I look at the world.
Well, I'm going to do my best to not be intimidated. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, Ryan, a divorced dad with one young daughter, says he was looking for love when he put his picture on an online dating site. He has his own tree cutting business, wears designer clothes, owns boats and fast cars, and has 1, 2, 3 homes. Sounds like a good catch, right, ladies? Well, that's what Danielle thought when she saw his profile, and they quickly started dating. Danielle is now 6.5 months pregnant and prepping for the birth of their son, but that's where the fairy tale kind of runs off the rails. Because Danielle says behind Ryan's movie star good looks lies a dark side. She claims Ryan is an abusive narcissist and sociopath who has called her, quote, unattractive and, quote, a fat bitch, and tells her he only has sex with women who are 130 pounds or less. Ryan also told us that if Danielle gave him the ultimatum, change or I'm leaving, he would say, well, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Well, now, after hearing all this, Danielle is naturally concerned, not only about her future, but also the future of their unborn baby. Take a look.
Ryan and I met on an online dating site. He seemed like a good catch. After 4 months, I began to see a different side of Ryan.
You're just completely disregarding a point that I was making.
Ryan's a narcissist. He is very full of himself. I always say it's the Ryan show.
I gotta admit that I enjoy the drama we have.
I feel he's the master manipulator. He will twist what I say.
What? What are you talking about?
When I try to talk with Ryan, he doesn't listen.
Danielle can be needy.
Ryan's controlling in all aspects of his life. Ryan definitely knows how to push my buttons. He said that I was fat and that I was not attractive as some other people. When he makes comments about my weight, it makes me feel more insecure. Ryan has called me fat while I've been pregnant. One time we were having a conversation and he threw in that his weight max limit was 130 pounds. At the time I was 133 pounds. I felt like I was not good enough. I'm concerned that Ryan is currently cheating on me. Ryan has admitted that he cheated on every other girlfriend he's been with. He has compared me to other girls in their sex lives. It is very offensive. I do fear if Ryan doesn't change that I may be forced to make a decision to leave him.
Well, okay. So how much of this did you know about him before you got pregnant?
Almost all of it. I mean, he did, you know, he's called me fat before I was pregnant and stuff, so.
Okay, well, obviously, if you can read the bubble over my head, I'm doing some math here, and so this tells me that you had 1.5 years of exposure to this attitude, behavior, treatment, interactive style before you elected to get pregnant.
Well, I didn't elect to get pregnant. It wasn't on purpose. We didn't plan it. It was an accident.
It was an accident?
Yeah.
You know how this works, right?
What?
How you get pregnant?
Yes. I was on birth control.
So what's your plan? Is this okay with you? You said you might leave him. If what? If this isn't, I mean, he's basically said to you, well, I made a list. Fat shames you while you're pregnant, right? Swears at you, punches holes in the walls, smashes windows, destroyed a family heirloom and table and rocking chair. You say he's controlling, manipulative, and dominating. What's not on there that would cause you to say,
Hits me.
okay, so he doesn't hit you,
No.
okay?
No, he
That
has
would
not.
be in the plus column, he doesn't hit you. He hits a wall to keep from hitting you.
Yeah.
You did a Facebook post where you quoted me recently.
Yeah.
You said it takes 1,000 attaboys to erase one, you're a dumbass,
Yeah.
which I have certainly said, and it's
Yeah.
true, right? I mean, because one really stings and it takes a lot to erase that. But you've heard that a lot, right? You need thousands and thousands of those attagirls to erase some of the things she said to you, right? But they don't come.
Sometimes they do come, but I'd say it's about equal to, you know, the amount of times that he said these things to me, he would say something nice.
Ryan has been listening backstage and says he has a very clear message for Danielle, a message she may not like.
My message to Danielle is to stay with me or leave me, but don't expect me to change. What do you want me to do, scream at you? I understand that Danielle wants a more compassionate person, but that's just not who I am. I get in the moment and I get carried away. I'm like a train moving 100 miles an hour and Danielle's like a train going 40. I don't like to bend, I like to do my own thing. Once I feel I've reached a point in the argument where I know I can't win, I would rather just destroy everything around me. If Danielle's suffering from the decisions that I've made, then so be it. I've never made it easy for any of my girlfriends. They just need to like the values that I stand for. When I first met Danielle, I told her I was attracted to girls about 130 pounds to help keep her within that navigational beacon. If Danielle can't accept who I am, then she needs to move on. The only thing that could go wrong in the relationship now is if Danielle were to try and withhold sex as leverage. If Danielle ever gave me an ultimatum to change or she's leaving, I'd say don't let the door hit you on your way out.
Well, that's charming. So, does this seem reasonable to you?
To me, it seems very reasonable. To me.
To you?
To me.
Do you think a woman with reasonable self-esteem and reasonable self-worth would take an unbalanced relationship like that and consider it to be okay, acceptable?
I do not. It's usually just a matter of time before they figure that out.
Before they figure what out?
Before they figure out that this is not normal.
Yeah.
That this guy's definitely not like I thought.
So you think you're abnormal?
Absolutely.
How would you describe that abnormality?
Well, I've looked up some things. I've talked to many counselors. A lot of them throw their hands up. You know, they get a little bit intimidated by, you know, and I'm a long talk. I'll talk for long, you know, periods of time, and I don't think I've hung in with one long enough for them to point a finger at me and call me anything or write anything down that I've caught wind
No,
of.
I'm saying, what do you think?
There's been many a times I've caught people a certain way where they can't really socialize with me because they're intimidated by the way I look at the world. It's not, you know, and then you see the way they are, you read people's thoughts, you see the way they look at you, and you start to decide that maybe you're just not like other people. But I still have a pulse. I have children. It's a matter of sailing the ship, knowing that the mast and the sails are tattered, and just doing the best you can with what you can. Mm-hmm. So I believe I have good intentions, but it's not as easy as trying to stifle all these problems.
Well, I've got some questions for you.
Yes.
And I'm going to do my best to not be intimidated by you.
Sure.
I'm gonna hang in there as best I can.
All right. You and me both.
And see if we can figure some things out for the two of you. Ryan says the real problem in his relationship is Danielle, not him. Surprise. He'll explain more when we come back. You break stuff, right?
Sure.
This chair is 50 years old. It's a family heirloom.
I can't look at it and care. And honestly, it's almost like a trophy.
And later, you claim you're a sex addict. You've cheated on everybody in your life, right?
Not everybody.
Cheated on her?
I can come off a little bit controlling at times.
I am concerned about moving into Ryan's home because he's so controlling. Ryan is possessive, and it sometimes makes me feel uncomfortable.
I think in the beginning of our relationship, a couple questions about what she was doing on her phone sparked a little bit of a jealousy thing.
I have a lot of male coworkers, and he was always asking me questions about what, where, and why.
If Danielle felt it would be better to leave, that would not kill me.
What do you think about that?
I think it's true. I think I know, you know, like he hasn't made it a secret.
I don't think you would yell fire if you were on fire. Does any of this bother you?
Yeah,
It doesn't seem like it does.
of course it's hurtful.
Do you feel like you're superior to her?
Yes.
In what ways?
Uh,
I mean, just across the board, or?
yes.
I wrote down some of your statements. You said, I am oppositional, defiant, and I bend to no one. I refuse to meet anyone in the middle. My message to Danielle is stay with me or leave me, but don't expect me to change.
Right. The way I look at things is if I want to stay the way I am and be original and not live a life that I regret, I need to stay with the thoughts that are coming through my mind. That's
You say, I will not chase people down in an attempt to make them happy.
Right.
Once I've reached a point where I know I can't win, I will just destroy everyone and everything around me.
I have said that. And I'm not proud to admit it, but I really believe that life is too short. And in which sense, you know, there's always more to obtain. Holding my anger together is something I've never been able to master. I just can't figure it out all the time. There are times where I can turn and walk away. There are times where it's just way too hard. And it seems like for the more I realize that she's interested in staying with me, the more I sometimes have to tap dance to make her understand that I care. I feel, looking back at it, it's a horrible behavior to have learned, but unlearning it in the relationship is easier said than done.
Well, of course it is, but that doesn't mean it's not worthwhile. Like, you break stuff, right?
Sure.
How do you feel afterwards? Like with this chair up here, you see the picture of the chair. When you walk by that chair afterwards that you've broken in anger, how do you feel when you walk by that chair afterwards?
Oh, God.
It's a chair. It's 50 years old. It's a family heirloom, 50 years old.
Do you want me to be honest?
Yeah.
I can't look at it and care. I think to myself, that was an argument. It was a thing of the past. I've done it. And honestly, it's almost like a trophy of, you know, of the way I just, you know, have lashed out. And that it's like, the longer it sits in there and I look at it, sometimes the better I feel.
So this is just a trophy of my immaturity. This is just an emblem of my immaturity. I'm like, this is a 6-foot tantrum here.
Yep.
I'm 6 foot tall, throwing tantrums.
Yep.
And this is a reminder of that.
Sometimes I look at it as basically like graffiti on the wall. No one owes me anything. I'm not asking people for help. But I broke a chair, I got a hole in the wall, and now I'm talking to one of the better therapists in the world in front of America. I think somebody read my graffiti.
Would you like to be in a relationship with you?
Yes. I got a feeling you
to see that.
Yeah, me too. You said you wanted to come here because you like the spotlight.
Yeah. Since I was a kid, it's nice when you get the attention of more than one person at a time.
Well, you certainly have that. You said I fat shamed Danielle. Sometimes I just cannot keep my mouth shut. I need her to understand how horrible I can be. You need her to understand that, do you?
I think so. I don't know. I feel like there's things I might still not even know.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a break. I need a break. Ryan says he is a self-confessed sex addict who has cheated on just about all of his past girlfriends. He says he's told Danielle all of this from day one and cannot understand what her problem is with it now. Well, we'll hear what she has to say about that after the break. If your daughter starts dating someone just like you, how would you feel about that?
If he's just like me, that for me is pretty impressive. I would be quite fascinated.
And later, do you think sometimes you babble?
I'm back there drinking some coffee before I came out here.
How much coffee did you drink?
In the beginning of our relationship, he told me it takes a special person to deal with his sex addiction.
I've always found myself to be very sexually motivated.
There were times that he got angry when I turned him down for sex. Now, because of the pregnancy, our sex life is down to about once a week.
She thinks that I'm cheating and getting it somewhere else.
I'm suspicious. How do you go from being a self-proclaimed sex addict to wanting it once a week? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, Danielle and Ryan have been together 2 years. They have a baby on the way. Danielle says Ryan is a narcissist, a sex addict, a master manipulator who fat shames her and has caused her to develop social anxiety disorder. She claims if Ryan doesn't change, she will leave him and raise their baby as a single mother. So you claim you're a sex addict, right?
When we met, yeah, I mean, I was trying to get as much of this stuff on the table as I could. I wanted to declare to her that there's a possibility for something like that.
You've cheated on everybody in your life, right?
Not everybody. There's a couple that I think we could, depending on how you looked at the scale, but if you want to say everyone, I'm fine with saying that. I personally believe it was just about everyone. There's one or the other, but
cheated on her?
No.
Why not?
She wouldn't understand, because I feel like if I'm holding the reason that she's here, the second I gave it to her, she might say, well, that's, whatever. When I met Danielle, I had been, for crying out loud, I talked to a lot of girls, a lot of them. Selfish world we live in. And for me to say that sounds a little ridiculous, I know. But you talk to girls for a little while, you happen to maybe take them out on a date or not, whatever it is you do, and you start to find out the way they think, it make you sick.
What happened to your former marriage?
Former marriage?
You were married, right?
Yes, sir.
Because your ex-wife sent us a statement. She said, Ryan continually fat-shamed me while I was pregnant and continued to do so after the baby was born. He offered me a cash incentive to lose my baby weight, which shocked me. I believe he's a narcissist, and he was very controlling throughout our 5-year marriage. My advice to Danielle would be to cling to her family and find a good church, as the only one who can fill the hole in her heart is the Lord, not Ryan. Now, I don't know this woman, but that was her perception. What happened to that marriage? Did you leave her or did she leave you?
I think she gave me an ultimatum, and I mulled it over, and just like here, I felt that she just wanted to start to sink her talons in and change me.
If your daughter grows up and starts dating someone just like you, how would you feel about that?
Oh, well, I've thought that over quite a bit. In one hand, it terrifies me, and then in the other hand, if he's just like me, and that, for me, is pretty impressive, because not a lot of people want to think like the piece of work that I am. I beg you to understand that I've already run my own psychology report, and it's not good, and I'm not proud of it. If she dated somebody like me, I would be quite fascinated. But I'm telling you, that day might be that might be a hard pill to swallow. But, at least I already understood how this guy thinks.
Would you say you're pretty proud of the way you turned out?
That's a double-edged sword, because though I might come off looking to now anyone that watches the show as a terrible person and absolutely horrible to my girlfriend and mother of my child, I think a little bit differently than some. And though my day-to-day might not produce much in the world, it's a different way of looking at certain things. And I've talked to a lot of your staff, and they are working their asses off on this show. And they probably wouldn't tell you that I was a piece of They
no,
probably
not
wouldn't.
at all. My staff said you've been.
So I might hurt all the people
you've been
closest
very nice
to me.
work with, actually.
Yeah, I might hurt all the people close to me, and it just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he does. He only hurts the people close to him. Everybody else in the rest of the world gets treated great.
Do you have ideas about how to parent?
I do.
Have you thought about marrying her?
Absolutely.
If he asked you, would you marry him? Closed captioning provided by.
I think it's likely that our son is going to be defiant like me.
I don't want my son to grow up and be judgmental like Ryan. I am concerned that Ryan's volatile behavior could have a detrimental effect if it was to happen around our son.
If she can't handle me, she's not going to be able to handle him.
Yeah. Do you have ideas about how to parent?
I do. It gets sticky because obviously she's got her wants and, out of it, and I have mine.
Like what do you base yours on?
Life's not going to be kind to you. You can watch children's movies, and you can listen to the things people tell you when problems happen, but sooner or later one day, and usually when someone's an adult, they realize that the things that the world is made up of really isn't what your parents might make it out to be. Finding that out in life is obviously a part of growing up, but I feel that it'd be better to start leaning them onto that earlier in life at a slow pace rather than cushioning them. And she claims that she would think differently, but that's what I like. Simply, if you want to know what's on the other side, go take a look. If you need help getting there, I can, get you there. Just to not think the same way. A lot of us are learning with regurgitated information, and you're walking around in the same old circle. You're not putting holes in the wall, but you're not really going to think outside the box, the world, the life that was created around you if you keep swallowing the same things that everyone's taught everyone else. And so I want my child to think a little differently. I don't want to be homeless playing a guitar on the street.
Would you consider yourself someone that has empathy?
I feel like there's times I do and there's times I don't. What is it and who's asking? My thoughts shift so quick. I'm very easily distracted, so I could be so focused on one thing and then something pulls my attention away. It doesn't mean that I don't care about what's at hand. It means that I just stop paying attention. And it looks to a lot of people like I just don't care. But I can hear the hum of the lights and stuff like that, and I start to ask myself stupid questions, and then I just don't look like I'm caring about what they're talking about.
Do you think sometimes you babble?
Yeah. Talk to my teachers. Yes.
No, do you? Do you think sometimes you babble? You said you have trouble focusing
Well, hell
sometimes.
yeah, man. I'm back there drinking some coffee before I came out here. I can sit you all down and give you a nice lesson on how to be a piece of work.
Yeah. How much coffee did you drink? If you're in a relationship with a woman that you're having a child with, have you thought about marrying her?
Absolutely. It scares me. Once something goes wrong in it, it's a horrible thing, and I think it haunts a person that's been wrong. Like when I went through the.
So have you thought about marrying her?
Yes.
If he asked you, would you marry him?
No.
So why not?
Because I couldn't trap myself into a situation like this.
Ryan says he came on the show because he's entertained by the idea of psychology. Danielle came because she wants to know if she should stay or go. Well, I'm going to talk about that when we come back. Closed captioning provided by. Well, Danielle and Ryan have been together for 2 years, and they're expecting their first child in coming weeks. Danielle claims that Ryan is a narcissistic sociopath that's a sex addict and has destroyed her self-confidence with constant fat shaming, and says if things don't change, she will have no choice but to leave him. Ryan says, well, you know what? I ain't changing, so you're either going to have to get happy or get gone, one of the two. That pretty much sums it up. Now, I want to add someone to the conversation, the estate management attorney, Ann Margaret Carozza. Now, one of the focuses in her practice is estate management, which, among other things, includes representing the interest of unmarried couples who may be moving in together. And you're getting ready to have this baby, but you're not married. So, and Margaret, I see so many young women getting pregnant and not being married and staying in relationships sometimes for a long time. They're awfully vulnerable financially, right?
Absolutely. Whenever two parties are not married and they establish a household together, they should really consider doing a cohabitation agreement, or it's sometimes called a love contract. And this would ensure that in the event of a breakup, neither party is financially devastated.
So how does she protect herself?
If I were representing you, Danielle, at a minimum, I would want you to have an agreement that says in the event that there is a breakup, that you have X amount of time to stay in the home because it's owned by Ryan. I would also like to see you have perhaps a modest financial settlement in the event of a breakup so you can transition as gracefully as possible. And in the event that you don't break up, you have a great relationship, and Ryan dies, you need to have protections in place so that you and the baby would inherit the house, because without a marriage, it would go to his other relatives. So there are many different things that you can do to legally protect yourself.
Do you have a will?
No. No.
So, I mean, she would be totally out in the cold, right?
Absolutely.
I don't think he would leave me his house anyway. I don't think he would. Would you?
I would rather put it on paper than have you left out without anything. I mean, she makes a point.
Yes, she does.
I mean,
We don't think about that stuff, and honestly, as time goes on, this whole thing, whether she stays or goes or I don't, I never weighed out the financial aspect. I guess I never looked at it through her lens. So it makes sense. It makes sense to me.
you know, you say you're not great at empathy, but you do want to think and plan ahead for the mother of your baby and your baby, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like she had mentioned, it's, it would be quite unfair for her not to get a piece of the assets if there's no reason she wouldn't get a fair amount. So it needs to be done, I would say. Yeah.
Well, Ryan told my team that if I can't help Danielle, she should move on and stop wasting her time on someone who doesn't make her happy. So what should this couple do? I'm going to tell them my view when we come back. So, Ryan, you have a very childlike way of approaching relationships, much like you would expect from someone in early adolescence. Kind of like, I want what I want when I want it, and I want it right now, and I want it my way, and that's just how it is. That's a very unevolved way of interacting with the world. And I strongly believe you teach people how to treat you. And you're just kind of like, yeah, I mean, he can call me those names, he can say whatever, and I just keep hanging in there. And if that's what it takes to stay in this relationship, the cost is too high. You ask me, should I stay? Should I go? If you have to stop being 100% of you to be half of this, the cost is too high. If your question to me is, if he doesn't change, you should kick his ass to the curb before dark today. Okay? If on the other hand, he says, you know what? The old bald guy's got some points, and maybe I need to re-examine some of my strongly held values, and I'm willing to be open to that, then I think you should give yourselves a period of time to go through some, let's call it premarital counseling. And I'm happy to arrange that for you. I'm happy to set it up for y'all in a good, solid way. I can even do it where you don't even need to leave your home. I'll set it up with you on Doctor on Demand, which is a company I have that I use sometimes here, where you can be at home on your smartphone or your laptop or your desktop or whatever, and you can be in front of a board-certified, licensed, PhD level therapist that can sit there with the two of you in the privacy of your own home, and they can walk you through this individually if you need to be, and as a couple if you need to be. But I would tell you to give this 60 days if you're open to it, and see if you can set some objectives that have measurable outcomes, behaviorally measurable outcomes, and see if you can redefine this some. Because I don't think you want to be rude or insensitive to her or anybody else, but you've got to be willing to examine yourself and be willing to evolve some. Are you willing to give that a shot?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'll do it. I'll set it up. All right. And if you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, you can go to Google Play Store or iTunes App Store and download the Doctor on Demand app. You can do it for medical, or you can do it for psychological, either way. Well, we wish Ryan and Danielle the best with the baby. The holidays are a time when friends and family like to get together, but we're going to meet a woman who has a reunion that she is absolutely dreading after the break. Closed captioning provided by Suzanne is the youngest of 7 siblings, but worries about looking the oldest. She says the clock is ticking because her high school reunion is just weeks away, and this divorced mom wants to look good for that high school crush. Take a look.
I have a big event coming up, my 35th high school reunion. This is different because I'm going back as a single woman. I'm divorced. I was married for 20 plus years. I've had a couple of challenging years, and I don't want to wear my stress. To be honest, I'm hoping to see my high school crush. Hopefully when I walk into the room, yeah, Susanna's taking care of herself. I always considered myself the young one, the youngest of 7 siblings, but now I'm 53 years old and I see fine lines and wrinkles. I spent a lot of time in the sun in my teenage years. See, as you get older, they keep on growing. I wrote into Dr. Phil because I heard Robin has a new skin line. Robin looks amazing, and I aspire to take care of myself like Robin does. I think this is the one. I want to go back to my reunion looking youthful. I want people to recognize me.
All right, Robin looks amazing. What about me? What am I? All right, look, I understand. Going back home can be a lot of pressure. And since you mentioned you're a big fan of Robin, she's here to help because she knows how important it is for women to look their best. We all want to look our best. If you were going back to your high school reunion, you would want to show up so your former classmates would say, wow, look at her, right?
Well, of course, I would want them to think that. I would want them to be so impressed that they would actually be speechless, that they wouldn't even be able to say, wow.
Yeah. Let me tell you about Robin. She really has created something that can help in a big way. She is the founder and creator of Robin McGraw Revelation Luxury Skincare Collection, which just recently launched globally. I'm talking about around the world.
And I have to say, Suzanne, I know how important making a good impression can be, especially when you're going back to meet this crush you had. And I believe that the first step is to focus on your skin. That's so important.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, going through a divorce, it has left a lot of lines, unwanted lines and wrinkles. So I'm hoping you can help me out with that.
Well, that's why I'm here.
All right.
Because there are so many products in this line that I think will help you.
Yeah, I said I was proud of Robin. Her skincare collection has been such a success that she's actually expanded it. Take a look.
It should be really obvious how proud I am of this entire line. I think it's beautiful enough that you can leave it out on your counter all the time. I'll tell you another little thing that is something I'm really proud of. That's the names of these products. Not only do the names let you have a lot of fun, but they reflect what's in the carton. OMG, is this really me? Instant Face Shaper. Twinkle Twinkle, You're a Star. Triple Action Brightening Polish. Foaming Joy, Purifying Facial Cleanser. Polish to Perfection. Hydrated skin equals youth. Another favorite, The Eyes Have It. Another one that is new to my skincare line is called VitaBoost. It's a vitamin-infused serum. It's very important. And then we have Up, Up, and Away. And you notice I went up, up, and away because it is a firming neck cream. Next we have Welcome Back, Youth. And I've had such a demand from everyone out there for this. It's called 50 Fierce, a moisturizer and sunscreen. And then we have Starlight Face Bright. It's a brightening night cream. And then Let There Be Bright. And then the last two, Hydra Quench. And face it, you look amazing. It's a revitalizing serum. Everyone needs it, and they work. Very proud of everything.
Good looking stuff. Well, Suzanne, you're in good hands today because I want you to meet Dr. Jessica Wu. She's a Harvard graduate, and she's a board-certified dermatologist, and she has partnered with Robin in developing the skincare collection.
Yes, and Dr. Wu is not only my partner, but she is our exclusive medical expert at Robin McGraw Revelation. So it's a real bonus to have her part of the team. With her expertise, we have created 14 luxury skincare products that I believe have the answer to not only all of your issues, but every woman out there. We've really been busy doing our research and our development, and all of these exciting new products are just what all of us need.
Okay, so Doc, what does she need to do? What's Suzanne need to do to get this high school reunion be a home run?
Well, I think to make sure that she looks her best and feels her most confident, that all she needs to do is a simple two-step routine. So I would suggest starting with Welcome Back Youth Serum first, then follow up with Hydro Quench Moisturizer. That's because Welcome Back Youth contains a time-released retinol that helps to reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It also has vitamin C to help brighten up your skin to make it look as radiant as possible. Hydro Quench contains this ingredient called squalane. It's kind of like bubble wrap. It helps to hold in the moisture to keep your skin looking plump.
And now I have to tell you, I gave these products these names. Not only are they fun to say, some of them are really, really cute, but the names really reflect what these products will do for you. For instance, the Hydra Quench. I've always said that dry skin equals old skin, and hydrated skin equals young skin. So the two of these are perfect for you.
Yeah, now, a big thing that I've heard you talking about when I've been in the office, these things have the highest performance level that you can get without a prescription, right?
Yes, that's absolutely right. And these are ingredients that I would recommend to patients in my office, but now everyone can get them without having to come and see me without a prescription.
Yeah, big deal. All right. So, Suzanne, Robin has something to help make your high school reunion a little easier to face.
That's right. We're not just giving you these two products that we've just talked about. We're sending you home with the entire line, all 14 products.
Thank you.
And Robin and I also have a holiday gift for my entire audience. Everyone is going home with the Robin McGraw Revelation Luxury Skincare Collection. And for those of you at home, if you want to be involved with this and use these products, you can go to robinmcgrawrevelation.com. I have completely redone the website. And you need to register again. If you've already been registered for the last couple of years, register again. It takes less than a minute, and you can find all the products right there. RobinMcGrawRevelation.com. I want to thank all of my guests today. A very special thanks to estate management attorney Ann Margaret Caroso. And a huge congratulations to Robin and Jessica Wu on the global launch of their new skincare collection. If you got that special event to go to like Suzanne, you know what you need to do. We'll see you next time.